understand, we have to really build up an environment in each of the nation. If we really wish to transform our economy, this is one of the fundamental things that every government will have to understand. That unless we have that inbuilt system which is able to match our population to the latest developments, perhaps we are not going to have a very sustainable economic transformation. No way. We have to understand, we have to build up our manpower and environment to the next level of the nation. If we really wish to then there is another economy that people do not is money, give them money to create demand. For instance, Noral Rubini that from US has recommended that 1,000, this was the COVID era, where he recommended that $1,000 to be given to every American. India, I would love to share one experience. India has a provision of leave travel concessions for its employees. So India has said, see, this was a smarter move from the side of India. They said, okay, if you spend 3 times of the money that you are claiming up to your LTC package, we will give you the money. That really, I have this experience of my own and my colleagues that we have spent and we have created a huge lot of demand. 3 times of what money we have got. So the economy was really boosted with this. Oxfam projection is there that roughly $250 trillion are required to keep the developing economies just afloat. So we need huge volumes of money and we really need to think over it. So what is important from my point of view is that give them confidence. The economies will have to work on entrepreneurial initiatives. Entrepreneurial activity is one which really calls for a lot of confidence, not just money, not just, just something may not serve the purpose. It is the overall quality. It is the overall confidence. Because, see, I strongly believe that economic activities are primarily psychology driven. The economies will have to work on entrepreneurial initiatives. The entrepreneurial activity is one which really calls for a lot of confidence, not just money, not just, just one month back I have switched to Burami, may not serve the purpose. And my style of expenses have changed. Quality, because I have got confidence, more confidence. So that is important. And this confidence would come through entrepreneurial initiatives. And the government should also look forward for job creation, because that's a must. Ultimately, it is through the entrepreneurial initiatives and job creation that we build up aggregate demand in the countries. And continuance of the industrial policy is also important factor that need to be deliberated. So let us take up flag once again forthcoming issues for the developmental program. I hope I'm not taking too much of time. I would request the organizers to please indicate me whenever they feel. So the first important thing that we really need to deliberate upon is food and water security. This is one thing which really needs the first topmost attention. Because we all know, and we had been since my childhood, I had been reading this, that the next world war would be maybe because of water. And we cannot loosen our grip with the transforming economies. I'm sure that the good leadership would lead to economic growth of their respective countries. And they would also be able to ensure the food supply. But then sometimes I strongly feel that we are not as a nation focusing enough on water conservation. Why I'm saying this is that almost every country across the world is taking and is trying to work on food sufficiency. And this is a common knowledge that agriculture requires roughly 70% of the potable water. Perhaps, perhaps, I mean, somewhere in the run for food, we have lost somewhere, or at least it dimmed the level of emphasis which is required for water security. For instance, I had been very recently, I had been going through, and myself and Dr. Hisham have also discussed this, that see, the virtual water, the water content into the many of the products is being exported. When you are exporting the product, the water is being exported from your ecosystem. So that's a serious issue that needs to be addressed, especially countries which are water deficient. For instance, GCC countries, they have to be extra cautious on water security, because no economic transformation can sustain. We are going to talk about sustenance. It is not just about economic growth. And water is something which cannot be replenished immediately. Exported, when you are exporting the product, we have to be really from your ecosystem. Cautious, extra careful, that's a serious very issue that needs to be addressed on this, especially countries which are water deficient. For instance, GCC countries, in order along to be extra cautious on water security, safety, food security, because no efficiency, all these items are okay. But are we giving enough emphasis on water security? That is my concern. And therefore, we really need to have a government interference on agriculture issues in terms of procurement, in terms of pricing, in terms of ensuring technology intensive agriculture. That if at all we are into agriculture, it has to be so technologically soothing for the earth and the climate and for the water systems, that it should be able to use the minimum possible water. And on this point, I would like to congratulate Oman and TRC, which is focusing on let us say virtual cultivation, which is good, which is a possibility. But I would also like to flag here that we have to demarcate between food sufficiency and food security. See, these two words are very closely related. But you can ensure food security without necessarily having food sufficiency. This is extremely important point. We can think, I mean, this is my opinion. You may have a word of difference. I'm open for any discussion maybe after my delivery. But my point is that in order to have the agricultural sufficiency means where you are being able to produce things at your own. If you are heading towards sufficiency and using potable water to the extent of 60–70%, even if it is 50% of the water, it will be a huge toll on your economic resources. I have read one of the reports from the Food Organization that the potable water levels in GCC countries are severely strained, already strained, and they are being strained further. And the aquifers are being, and the underground water is like, I mean, it is being exploited like anything. And it will not be replenished over the period of time. Therefore, we have to very, very seriously deliberate on these issues. And then we can also look out for the agro-entrepreneurship where the people would stay at village level and will start building up some small enterprise, some micro level developments, industrial developments, which would create job and simultaneously process and increase the shelf life of the agriculture product, and all those benefits, derived benefits, will be coming forward. Then health, I mean, of course, COVID-19 has really reflagged this, that your health is the most vital thing. As a nation, we have to understand the significance of health. If the public health is out of control, or there are issues with the public health at large, it will be, I mean, the whole of the economic transformation system would be jeopardized. If you cannot have a healthy workforce, for sure, you cannot have a healthy nation. at least not a sustainable economic growth. And I'm sure that this event intends to focus on economic transformation in a sustainable way. So we have to ensure that in order to have a sustenance of the thing, we have to have good health. That is very important. Then education. This is again a very, very important issue that should be the part of a development agenda of any nation. Because we have, see, I would love to share here one experience of my own. I am naturally, given my age, I was not that well versed with the technology, educational technology. As a matter of chance, on 17th March 2020, I joined as the Dean, Faculty of Commerce. India is relatively a backward country, relatively a poor country, though it is coming up very fast. On 17th March, I joined. On 18th March, I had some programs, physical programs, and I got the notice from the university administration that no more physical programs. I had listed so many programs, and I was shocked. Then I called my friends and my students and my colleagues across the world. How are you doing? They said, we are on Zoom, we are on internet. I experimented that. I downloaded, shared it with my colleagues, first time in my life. And on, I don't remember exact date, perhaps on 25th or 26th, I took a class of mine on Zoom. It went well. It is on YouTube. It was on group dynamics. So I uploaded that thing on the YouTube in order to share it with my colleagues. So next day I had a meeting of all my colleagues and I said, let us go virtual, let us start taking class on net. And they said, how can we do it? We don't know. Then I said, when an old man like me, if I can do it, you can do it. So anyway, that technological interface is a beautiful outcome of COVID-19. Like earlier crises, this technological advance, virtual advance into our lives is really a fantastic experience. Then the world has really become flatter. I have also uploaded some of the things which are available on the AMU University website, where I organized a series of webinars. I feel that myself, my Honorable Vice Chancellor of University of Buremi, with whom I have a physical appearance now, I am yet to meet another friend of mine, Dr. Hisham, where we had been in touch. I was sitting in India and he was in Oman, and we worked on the same platform. So the world has really become like a table. It's a fantastic development. And therefore, I would request all the participants to please understand that your presence online is a must. Learn to collaborate and corroborate your efforts across the world. Start learning from others. Start building up the relationships. That's very important. But one more point to be flagged here, that many of the countries across the world, the governments are really contemplating the possibility of a trade-off of on-campus and off-campus. We really have to be wise on this. Because off-campus creates a lot of peer group learning among the students. And emotional intercourse of the things is one of the basic essence of learning. So while I'm emphasizing an off-campus thing, I'm equally emphasizing and flagging the importance of on-campus activities. If you start ignoring on-campuses, perhaps it could be extremely fatal for any nation. There are certain countries, I'll not name anyone, but there are countries where the governments are pushing off-campus so much that they are almost willing to compromise on on-campus activities. This I feel and I think that could be fatal for the national growth and development. So at the end, my thanks to Nasser Rashid Al Mawali and Dr. Hisham Mad and my Honorable Vice Chancellor of the university who has given me an opportunity to be in Oman. Thank you very much. Any questions? I'm open. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Amran, for your precious information about economics and finance history. Your presentation was highly informative. And now, dear guests and viewers, we will be taking a short 15 minutes break and will return to the same platform for our master class presented by Professor Aman Agrawal, Dean and Director in IIFT India, after this short MCBS video. Thank you and see you in 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Masalam.